preserve the African forests. Africa's total forests cover around 675 million hectares, accounting for 23% of the continent's land area and 17% of global forest cover. So, the contribution made by forests to the sustainability of the planet cannot be overemphasized. Forests mitigate climate change by trapping and storing carbon dioxide, which would otherwise contribute to global warming. In this way, forests function as the lungs of the earth and therefore must be protected. Forests also regulate water for many of the world's largest rivers, including those in Africa, and also help to decrease the impacts of storms and floods while controlling soil erosion. Moreover, they are home to more than half the terrestrial species, from endangered species such as gorillas right down to the smallest of insects, and also nurture an incredible diversity of plants, some with medicinal properties which are only now beginning to be fully understood. This amazing biodiversity sheltered by the forests must be preserved for the generations to come, as is their rightful inheritance. What is the impact of deforestation and degradation? Deforestation is the reduction of forest cover, mainly by commercial logging, and an ever-growing demand for wood and wood products threatens the sustainability of the forests. Africa alone lost 3.4 million hectares of forest per year from 2000 to 2010. This degradation of natural resources and its effect on climate change impacts not only Africa, but the whole world, where deforestation and forest degradation account for nearly 20% of global greenhouse gas emissions. A global problem demands global solutions, and the African Development Bank is spearheading efforts to preserve the African forests. Why take action now? The forests provide many important resources such as timber for construction, fuel, rubber, papers and medicines. In some countries, more than 80% of the total energy consumed by people and industry derives from forests. More than 3/4 of the world's accessible fresh water comes from forested catchments. What is being done to grow the future? The African Development Bank is supporting two major forestry conservation initiatives, which are transboundary in nature and covering several African countries located around river basins. These are the Congo Basin Ecosystems Conservation Support Program and the Mano River Union Forest Ecosystems Conservation Program. The dense forests of the Congo River Basin cover 200 million hectares across 10 countries and can sequester enormous amounts of CO2. Deforestation and forest degradation represent the largest source of CO2 emissions in Central Africa. It's these emissions that contribute to global warming. Protecting an additional 1% of forests in Central Africa would preserve about 230 million tons of carbon. The planet's sustainability depends on preserving the world's forests with all their biodiversity. 3 African countries are participating as pilot countries in the Forest Investment Programme, FIP, which is being supported by the African Development Bank, with funding also from the Strategic Climate Fund. The AfDB is helping the Democratic Republic of Congo, Burkina Faso and Ghana to develop their FIP investment plans. The focus is on reducing emissions from deforestation and forest degradation, REDD, and the livelihoods of the people relying on the forests. The AfDB's approach in action. The AfDB is stepping up its assistance to regional and global initiatives and programs which target forestry conservation, sustainable agricultural development and climate change mitigation. The bank has also launched its Climate Change Action Plan 2011 to 2015, which rests on 3 pillars: low carbon development, climate change adaptation and the establishment of a climate change funding instrument. The bank also champions projects that promote renewable energy through its support to the SREP, Scaling Up Renewable Energy Program in Low-Income Countries. The projects have supported over 360,000 beneficiaries, including organized associations and groups, to help them manage their natural resources sustainably and to increase their livelihoods. Preserve the livelihoods in Africa. The forest and the indigenous people form a symbiotic relationship, the one mutually dependent on the other for survival. The African Development Bank recognizes that while forests must be sustainably managed, so too must the livelihoods of the people living in or near those forests, for they rely on the natural resources as their primary source of income. At all times during the preparation and implementation of its projects and programs, the AfDB aims to engage the local communities and stakeholders through dialogue. In this way, the local people retain their crucial role as guardians of the forest. Preserve the livelihoods in Africa. Grow the future with the African Development Bank.